And if you work with us out in Mesa or anything like that, you'll encounter this over and over again. Now, as an introduction to putting some feet on this and talking about how we actually end up doing the witnessing encounter, if you have the little brown sheet, or mine's blue, you've got the same map sort of on the back in small reproduction on the back of this sheet that has pictures of various folks talking with people up in Salt Lake City. This, some of you may recognize, is a little bit of a map of the LDS temple out in Mesa. And if you'll notice, March 29th through April 3rd, is the running of the Easter pageant in Mesa, Jesus the Christ. It's a large theatrical production put on by volunteers in the LDS Church. Very well done, no question about it. Pretty much all the missionaries in the Arizona Tempe mission will be there at some time during that time. It's one of the main proselytizing tools that the church uses locally. As I mentioned, most of the specifically Mormon elements have been removed from it. It used to be very heavily LDS. Now it's pretty much everything that would cause a Christian to go, huh, has been removed. Just a couple things left in there. Like I said, the atonement in the Garden of Gethsemane, so on and so forth, is still there. But Tuesday used to run Monday through Saturday night, and thankfully about 3 years ago they dropped the Monday performance, because boy, by the sixth night I was about ready to fall over, because we go out there every single night. And what we do is we meet over there next to the Arby's there on the corner of Hobson and Main Street, and we get everybody loaded up with tracts, and we tract at the main areas there. You'll notice this is the main area right down at the corner, and then there's a gate down here right next to the temple that we send folks down to. Pretty much just men, though, because it gets a little dark down there, and we've had a few interesting experiences down there, shall we say. And then there's another spot down here on this corner that's a little bit of a quieter area. But this is the main area right here. There's very little on-site parking up here, so there's a constant stream of people coming across Main Street, and then the stage is right here. The performance is down here in the front lawn of the temple. And we go, and we don't attempt to disrupt anything. We're not trying to keep anyone from going. We're not trying to make noise so people can't hear it. We're there for only one reason, and that is to distribute literature and share the gospel with anyone who wants to talk with us. We're not there to do anything other than that. And so we're very careful in regards to where we stand and the whole 9 yards. But it runs for 5 nights. Anywhere from 60 to 75,000 people attend over those 5 nights. So you're running anywhere from 8 to 12, 13, 14,000 people a night. Friday and Saturday nights are the biggest nights as far as the number of people who attend the Easter pageant. This is one of the opportunities we have coming up. It's very interesting to stand someplace and pass out tracts. I'm not sure how many of you have done it before. If you have a really strong aversion to being ignored, as if you don't exist, you might not want to do this. That is, I would say, the primary response of most folks is if they don't want to deal with you, then you are not there. You know, it's you are there. No, you are not there. You do not exist. You can ask until they're right next to you. Yes, you can ask some of the folks who've been out there. Mike, Kathy was out there last year. Kathy loved it, though, but Kathy thought it was just wonderful. Didn't she, Kathy? The kids liked her. The kids, she's sort of like a mommy figure, you know, and why are you doing this? But you'll have to ask Kathy about that some other time. But it is quite an experience, and it runs from we try to begin at 6, and we get done around between 9:15 and 9:45, and we're out there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you don't have to be there 5 nights. If you can only be there 1 night, that's great. But if that opportunity does exist, if you would like to be a part of that type of work. Now, what happens in situations when you're going to hand a tract out to somebody? In fact, I'm going to steal someone's tract. Who has a tract, one of my tracts I can steal from someone down here? Aha! Okay, thank you very much. Don't forget to get it back from me. Okay, I have one of our tracts called Grace Plus Works is Dead. How do you like that? One of our more popular tracts that goes well, especially in Salt Lake City, and it deals with the gospel. And it deals with the concept of grace and work salvation and all the rest of this stuff. Let's say I have a whole slew of these and a small Bible. Notice I said small Bible. In other words, if you attempt to carry a Ryrie study Bible with you out there, your one arm will be about 2 inches longer than your other arm by the end of the night. I can guarantee you that, and you will not be appreciative of carrying a large Bible out there. It gets to be a long time, especially Salt Lake, it's the same. This is a little King James thin line with big enough print that you can actually read it. There are smaller versions, but remember, you are standing under a street light. And so if you need to read it in the dark, and it's one of those really microprint versions, hopefully your eyes are a lot better than mine are. Or the other person's eyes are better than yours are too, either one. So I have a stack of tracts here, and I'm staying there on the corner, and here comes a group of folks. What kind of conversations am I going to be getting into? Well, here's some of the normal ones. I hand the tract out, and notice I'm handing it to them so that they can read the title. This does not work well. You know, what's that? I don't know. You hand it to them so that they can actually read what you're attempting to hand to them, and you step toward them. You don't get in their way. You step toward them so that they can see it. And you try to smile, even though sometimes it's after about the fourth, go get a life. It's sort of hard to smile all the time, but you just trust the Lord and smile anyways. And anyways, you hand the tract out, and some of the conversations you're going to get will be, what's this? Is this anti-Mormon literature? Immediately. We've been out there a long time. This is our 10th or 11th year of doing this. Or, why can't you guys just leave us alone? That's another conversation, not exactly starter. That's sort of a hard one to start a conversation with, but if you're fast, you can start a conversation there by attempting to explain why you would come out here and stand on a sidewalk and pass out tracts. But other people will look at the title of the tract, Grace plus Works, what does that mean? And so in other words, you may want to pass out a tract that is relevant to the topics you want to discuss. If you want to discuss who Jesus Christ is, you pass out the tract on the Mormon Jesus. If you want to discuss who God is, you pass out a tract, One God or Many. You want to pass out a tract that's going to naturally lead into the conversations that you want to deal with. But when you're in a witnessing situation, there are some things you have to keep in mind. A, what's the context? Am I at lunch with a coworker? Am I out in Mesa, standing on the street corner? Am I talking to a relative that I'm going to see frequently in the future or infrequently in the future? You need to keep all those things in your mind to determine what direction you want to go and how you're going to get there. If you're out on a street corner, you may not have